2,000, 3,000 if you include release plus, but there's still so many guys coming home, right? And so the message, first I would say, is come to us, right? But also to do other things yourself. Like, what distinguishes people that are successful in our programs and people that are not successful?
Well, I think that what distinguishes people is that of wanting to change, you know, and have a passion for wanting to turn their life around. I mean, we would like to be able to serve millions of people if we could and everything, okay? But we placed over 800 people in jobs. That is a fact, you know, and we'll be able to track that, we can prove that, and it's documented. But I think that what helps people is that when they come home from prison, after they've hit rock bottom, because usually, Mr. Mayor, it takes hitting the bottom, saying enough is enough. But it's more, and I have to give credit to my boss, Ingrid Johnson, and our operating officer, Celio Aponte, for that. Our leadership transcends down to let people know that it's more than placing people in a job.
Right.
Okay. It's about the behavior, because if you put the behavior with the job and that behavior is still there, it's going to show up and it's going to be prevalent.
Right.
So this is why case management is so important. This is why being able to become more skillful, being able to have counseling, being able to have all these other things, because it takes a lot to stitch a person back together after they've been fragmented.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to say, Mr. Mayor, to add on to Earl, you know, I want to say that you hit it right on the head when you said hope. We serve as catalysts, but we're really external motivators. We have to get the individual to a point that there's this internal motivation. Right. They start believing, they start seeing, and they start transforming right in front of you. And it's the greatest thing in the world to see. It really is, to see it go from, I'm not engaging in any criminal behavior because I have a PO, or because I have to see Mr. Warren at OAR, or I have to all of a sudden, I'm not engaging in any criminal behavior because it's the right thing to do.
Right, right.
And what makes me feel really good is that when I see people at the college, and you know, I taught there. Now here I am teaching college, and here I am, you understand, with nothing but a nickel, less than a nickel in my pocket at one time. Yeah. And it makes other people, inspire them, especially when they hear my story and they say, hey, professor, you know, and it's inspiring to other people out there to say, if he can do it, I can do it.
Right. And how do you get that message out, though? Because there's still so many guys that come home and they don't see that opportunity, and they go right back out there doing those kind of dangerous things that either has them end up in jail, but also it could have them end up shot.
Right.
How do are we not doing a good enough job getting that message out there, or what more will it take?
I think that your forum right here helps, and I think that more announcements, marketing it a little bit more would help. But I think that regardless of how much you do it, if someone is not able to internalize that they need to change, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. Unfortunately, we don't want that, but sometimes people can hear the message, and you know, you can want to save some, but some, you understand, you don't want them to go by the wayside.
Right, but that's frustrating to me, because
it's very frustrating.
You know, one of the things that I firmly believe in is that the greatest asset Newark has is its human capital.
Yes.
Right.
And one of the tremendous rewards of having the Office of Reentry in the city of Newark is that it was able to bring all the stakeholders together.
Right.
I mean, individuals that we thought we had different missions, but once we really sat together, you realize it wasn't as far off as we thought it was. Right. So nonprofits were all of a sudden meeting with halfway houses. You had parole sitting at the table with substance abuse treatment centers. This was 5 years ago unheard of.
Right.
So it's allowed us to send case managers in to houses to start talking to individuals pre-release.
Right.
Which has been a tremendous asset. So by the time they are released, they know that they have somewhere to come to.
Right.
We're getting letters all the way from Otisville Federal Prison. We're getting letters from all over state institutions, all over the state and out of the state about the Office of Reentry.
Right. Right.
You know, well, I'm coming home in a little while. How can I get some help? And we address each one of those letters to those individuals.
Which is incredible. And I have to say, that's when I knew we were starting to be successful, when the reputation got back into prisons where people were starting to reach out.
Right.
And I know our fatherhood program has got a waiting list of many people
Yes.
who are trying to get into it. And that's why the pressure is on that we've got to find ways to expand these programs. But I don't want to leave. We've only got a few more minutes left. But I just want to tell some of my frustrations here, if there are any of yours, because sometimes I just want to yell at some of these young folks because, you know, I'll walk a neighborhood and people say, I need a job, I need a job, I need a job. And then I'll stop and I'll challenge them. And here's a number, place to go to, and they won't show up in your office.
That's right.
Sometimes I tell people, how serious are you? Will you meet me at 8 o'clock in the morning at my apartment? And I'll tell people, 10 people that, and I'll have 1 or 2 show up because they're frustrating. And but what's even more frustrating to me is when we've gone out and gotten a warehousing company to hire some of our people, and we've had experiences before where the people we send down aren't living up to their potential. Correct?
Yes, and what happens with that is that's why when they come into our office, we try to get them to either warn OAR to get able to get the right case management behind them.
Right.
Because a lot of times, if they don't have the right case manager behind them, you know, they're going to go and not go. So
Right.
you know, that's why it's more than a job, Mayor.
Yes, and that's why, and we haven't mentioned even people struggling with emotional issues often,
Right.
Yeah.
people struggling with drug addiction
Right.
issues, and we do have the capacity to help people with those issues as well.
Yes, we
Absolutely.
do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So really there's just no excuse not to reach out,
No.
not to try to follow through. And if you have a loved one that's struggling with these issues, there's just no excuse not to bring them to our one-stop center and say, you know, please help this person.
One of the things that OAR does is that we do take a holistic approach. So we encourage family involvement.
Right.
So if there's, you know, a girlfriend, an aunt, a mother, someone that is another stakeholder in you staying home and living a lifestyle that will not expose you to the criminal justice system, we want to speak to them as well.
Right, because we all have, you said it earlier, we're no man's an island. We all need that support group.
Absolutely.
We need those people coming together. You mentioned some of the people that are Ingrid and others who are phenomenal leaders,
Yes, they are.
who are really involved in what we're trying to do. And I just want to give a lot of gratitude because there's a family out there in Newark that is now connected more than ever, trying to provide hope and trying to provide services. And every year, thinking up new ideas, like the clean and green idea,
Right.
which is, you know, we may not be able to get everybody immediately to a $15 an hour job, but we have started a program, got innovative, using local dollars to actually help people connect to city jobs, really, right? It's coming through the city to do cleaning up lots and planting gardens and creating little almost mini parks in our city. And I've watched people who said, okay, well, it's only $7, $8 an hour, but it's a bridge to the next thing for me, and I'm going to stick with this and demonstrate some of my my abilities. You know, there's always a saying that if you make yourself distinguish yourself in the small things, the big things will come, right?
Absolutely.
And I always tell them anyway that when they complain minimum wage, I always say, well, you work for $1.30 down in prison.
Yeah.
So, you know, but we're doing a great job.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, you know, like I said, that we would like it to be more than what it is right now, but it is at a significant level right now.
But if you look back, as you said, where we were 5 years ago,
5 years ago,
Tremendous leaps.
I'm
And
in
I mean-
awe.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of what
Yeah.
you all have accomplished, and I'm grateful for it. And what I'm simply going to say right now is, if somebody's listening to us, especially, and you guys know somebody who needs help, who's been struggling to find a job coming home from prison, who feels like there's no hope, please reach out to us. And is there a number you want to share with everybody?
yes, my telephone number is 973-349-9127.
Say it again for me.
973-349-9127. Anyone that needs any help, anyone, you know, just give me a call. It doesn't matter what time of the night it is. Just give me a call.
Yeah, and that's the truth about both of you guys. You guys go above and beyond the call. This is not a job for either of you. This is your mission,
Yeah.
frankly, in life. And it's part of the redemptive story that is so compelling. Well, look, we've got to go take a break right now. I've got another segment coming up, which I'm very excited about, because we're going to talk to some of your clients, people that you have helped to land in jobs. So we're going to be back with some people who are participating. We've got Mr. Keith Williams and Andre Williams, the Williams and Williams men, the Williams men, and they've got stories, very recent stories, of guys coming home and telling some stories and excuse me, coming home and having an experience that demonstrates the power of really what you guys are talking about.
And may I say that, you know, at the end of my whole story and what I've been through and what I've been able to accomplish going back to school, I was given a pardon, executive clemency by John Corzine.
We've got to tell that story because it was like a thrill for me. That was a great thrill.
It was a thrill.